Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday Health Show. I'm your host, Dr. Kala Hewlett from the Back Pain and Joint Center of Texas, where we offer non-surgical solutions for your chronic back and joint problems. And we're excited to have a very special guest in our clinic today, Ms. Teressa Holiday of Rouge Health. Teressa, welcome to our show today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And today we're talking about employee health and wellness programs. When we do the research, and we see the research has been published over several years, is the cost of employee illness, sickness, etc. is just in staggering amounts. So much productivity is lost, time lost due to health problems. And it's often not what happens in the workplace, it's what happens outside the workplace overall with an employee's health and well-being that can affect their ability to work and provide for their family. So I'm really excited to talk about this topic because you have a very unique twist on how you address employee health and wellness.
Yeah.
So let's start there. What, in your perspective and from what you do, how would you define employee health and wellness?
Employee health and wellness really is getting the employee to understand how to live healthier and happier and better. And in doing so, it helps them be way more productive. You don't get the afternoon crash and need, a pot of coffee. You can think more clearly. You can think faster. You have more energy. You can accomplish a lot more things in a day. And so that's really from the employee's perspective. From the employer's perspective, you get more production. You get happier employees. You care about your employees. And I think that shows both directions, that the employee believes that the employer is really investing in them, and they matter, and that makes a big deal. So from that perspective, I think it's a win-win, and I decided to take it mobile because I think more companies need to be able to have this offered. So
what are some of the components of your employee health and wellness program?
Okay, so there are employee wellness programs out there that show, how to work out and drink water and things like that. Mine's very unique in that I'm a holistic health practitioner. It measures.
Let's even pause there for a moment.
Oh, gotcha.
What does that mean? So if someone's watching this and they heard holistic healthcare practitioner, how would you explain that if they're hearing that for the first time?
Okay, holistic health practitioner is someone who has studied nutrition, physiology, that they understand how the body works, and it's not just your body, it's also your mental status and your emotional status. So you are looking at it from a holistic perspective, just like Chinese medicine doesn't believe that things are separate, that everything is whole. And so you're looking at your stomach is really not performing correctly. Well, tends to have to do with worry. Well, what could be the thing that you're worrying about? Let's follow that lead and find out why that's an issue. And if you can get rid of that, that can take a lot of stress off the organs, off the systems in your body. And so it's not just take a medicine, it's let's look at this whole picture and see how do we improve that.
Very, very cool. So it's really holistic, even though it's typically spelled with a H.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It should really be spelled with a W because it's more looking at the individual picture as a whole or the whole picture. So
exactly.
If we could replace holistic health, in my mind, it's comprehensive healthcare practitioner.
Yes.
So more of a comprehensive healthcare practitioner, and that's very much in line with our philosophy in health and the conditions and patients we see.
Yep.
Okay, so in your comprehensive healthcare practitioner, keep going from there.
Comprehensive.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. I love technology. I was in the computer industry for a long time, and what really got me into this was the fact that I could take technology and measure what's going on in your body and help you understand you've had heavy metal exposure, chemical exposure, looks like you've got some food allergies you weren't aware of. It will show parasites and bacteria and viruses. It'll show your plethora of vaccines you've had throughout your life. And at a certain level of measurement, it shows you, okay, these are the things that are really burdening your body. Let's address those so that your body doesn't have to be fighting off 10, 20 different things. Let's cut that down a bit so that your body has a moment to breathe and go, okay, I can categorize how I need to handle this. And how do we handle this? There could be herbs, it could be food, it could be more water and sleep. And there's emotional stuff that comes up in this as well, so we can address that.
You said something a few moments ago was really cool is, when you had your scan done years back when you were on this journey and path, it identified everything from vaccinations you had as a child, things that happened several years ago.
Oh, this was in, well, let's see, this was about 3-4 years ago. I'm not 20 anymore, but it showed me the barium swallow I did when I was about 22 or 23.
Yeah,
and it was still there.
That is just phenomenal to be able to have technology to be able to go that far back.
Oh, yeah.
In our health history. You know, even though we're human beings, it's like a computer. The human body is like a living computer where, you know, a computer person can pull up the computer and say, okay, they can look at their history, the records, they can see if there's viruses that have been in the computer. All that information is stored in there. And really what I'm hearing is the human body is very similar. It has a memory of past traumas. It has a memory of past infections. It has a memory of toxic exposures.
Yes, and you know this as well. When you do a detox program, the number of days you go forward with the detox, it goes years backwards in time. And so sometimes you can have an old injury show up again. Like if you hurt your knee 30 years ago, or let's say 20 years ago, and a week into the detox, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, my knee hurts. Yeah, that was the one I injured. That'll come back up kind of as a replay, and it will be erasing the emotion as well as the frequency of that injury. And that same thing it can do with any kind of viruses you've had, illnesses, injuries, trauma, emotional trauma will come up, all kinds of stuff. Which is fascinating.
It really is fascinating because sometimes people don't understand because it happened years ago. That can't be affecting me now. That was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
There's memory.
In reality, when I meet with a patient and we go through an exam and x-rays and so forth, I simply say, this is your autobiography. Like this is how you present today is a history of everything you've been exposed to since you were born. Whether it was things by choice or car accidents that happened not by choice, but everything is a sum of what we see now.
Exactly.
So what these bioscans can do is what I'm hearing is they can actually help identify things that happened years back and help connect the dots to symptoms and problems someone may be having now.
Oh, I'll go a step further. It'll bring up your DNA. Yeah, there's a program that'll pull up your DNA. I can print that out, or I always email the reports to clients, and they can take that to their doctor, and it'll show specifically where their DNA issues are. I mean, it's just mind-boggling.
It's 2022, and it's just really cool to be able to use technology and that we have this available to identify and help address these health concerns. Very cool. Okay, so going back, employee health and wellness programs. You have a mobile device then that you can bring into the workplace and do these type of assessments for individuals in a work setting?
There's that, yes, absolutely. So what I do is I will scan each employee and make it really quick so that they're not missing their work time. I can talk to them in the evenings or on the weekends whenever they have time. I'm really flex with that. I can go through their reports and show them what's going on. And then during the month I provide information, whether it's text or email or whatever, on how to live better and healthier and happier to the point where you realize how you are creating your own illness.
Okay. So it's
easy peasy.
Step one sounds like the assessment, and then step two, based on how that scan comes back and what shows up from their past history, then you begin to work with them and let them know, hey, these are the do's, these are the don'ts. These are things that can actually help.
Oh, if somebody has issues with gallbladder, well, there's a nutritional protocol that'll take care of that, right? And I know so many just run to the doctor and they get their gallbladder yanked out, and there's lifelong health issues and implications after that. So yeah, it's a big deal. But and then I help them that way. If they need supplementation, I encourage people to buy locally. But if they want, I have an online dispensary and they can go in there. I give a discount for clients, and so they can buy it and have it shipped to their doorstep.
So as a holistic, comprehensive healthcare practitioner, you do the assessment, find out where the imbalances are, and then show them how to address and help those issues, but without medication, without surgery.
Without medication.
More about bringing the body back into a
exactly.
better state of balance.
And I know there are people that like to really push supplementation. It has its place. I start with food. Like they're creating a lot of issues just with the food they eat or drink, or the daily Starbucks or whatever. I try to clean that up for them, and I say, okay, here's where we're finding your issues are. You might want to supplement with this, this, and this. So here's how you can do that nutritionally. Here are the supplementations you can do for that. And then, by the way, here are studies to back up things like, I have to do a presentation soon, and one of the things I cover is water. Well, well, I pulled up the environmental working group, and voila, sure enough, here in Conroe, there are, I think, 12 particulates in the water in Conroe that are cancer causing and above limits. Okay, and then we wonder where cancer comes from, right? So how do we stop that? Well, let's talk about filtration. I've got a guy for you. Let's talk about how much water you should be drinking, and the acidity levels, alkalines, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, I know we're talking employee health and wellness programs. What if someone's watching this and they're thinking, well, I don't work, maybe they're retired, or they're just at a stage in their life where they're not working for a company, or their company doesn't offer this. Can people connect with you individually for this information?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I work out of my home office at the moment in North Conroe. I can go mobile if somebody absolutely needs me to, but I'd prefer not to, go too far away. The other technology I have, which I forgot to mention, have you ever heard of HeartMath?
HeartMath.
HeartMath measures your heart rate variability.
Yes. Well,
there you go.
Familiar. Yep.
Yeah, and so what it shows me is your stress level. And so that is one of the other things that I bring to the workplace. But it is great because I can teach you how to calm your vagus nerve down, which really is the thing that's exciting your heart, exciting your brain, tying your gut in knots. That is something that, beside the usual, nutrition issues and so on and so forth, that is a big one for inflammation. And so if we can calm that down, we can calm down the inflammation, we can calm down heart issues, we can make you think more clearly, so that's another technology. I love technology.
That's really cool. Years back, the first few years as a practice, I used to do that with all of my patients. We do heart rate variability assessments for their new patient intake. Because if someone is stuck in that sympathetic fight or flight, they weren't going to be able to heal appropriately. So it was about taking someone from a state of stress and putting them in a state of parasympathetic, based on their heart rate variability. So totally love all that. Totally love all that.
So that's why I'm taking it on the road.
Very cool.
How
can someone connect with you?
They can go to my website at www.rougehealth.com, or you can call me at 936-727-7474.
Perfect. Teresa, thank you so much for
taking
the time to be here today. If you work somewhere, definitely connect your HR manager or the appropriate person at your company with Teresa, at least to start that conversation. If you're thinking you just want to connect with Teresa, please reach out to her at the number she just gave you. We'll put some links below to make it easy for you just to click. Other than that, as always, we thank you for being here. Please share this with family, friends, and others who you feel benefit from this. Our goal in doing these shows is to help spread the message about health and wellness businesses and professionals here in the community, resources available to help you. Until next time, you guys be well.